Right, good morning again, Year 1, Tuesday morning maths today. So we're going to start just by reminding ourselves about what we were doing yesterday. So see if you can explain to the adult that's with you, what were we looking at yesterday? What were we doing in maths? What were we thinking about with number? Speak to your adult about it. Have a think. If you need to pause the video so that you've got time to explain, you can pause and then start up again. Okay. Yesterday, remember, we were looking at 2-digit numbers, and some of you moved on to 3-digit numbers. 2-digit numbers, and looking at how many tens and how many ones were in a number. Okay, so for example, if I remind you, if we had the number 47, okay, we were thinking about how many tens and how many ones were in that number. And remember the rule, the ones always comes at the end, always the last number, and the tens always comes just before the ones. So this is how many tens we've got, and this is how many ones we've got. So we've got 4 tens and 7 ones. Okay, just to remind you what we were doing yesterday. What I'm going to do very quickly is I'm going to point to 3 or 4 numbers on the 100 square, and I want you, in your book or on a whiteboard, I want you to write down how many tens, how many ones that number has. So are you ready? The first one I'm going to point at is this one here. This number. How many tens? How many ones? Write it down. Pause the video if you need to. I'm going to point to another number. I'm going to point to this number. How many tens? How many ones? Have a think. Write it down. And another number. How many tens? How many ones? Have a think. Write it down. And the last one I'm going to do is this number here. How many tens? How many ones? Write it down. Okay, well done. Right, today we're going to move on from that, and we're going to be still looking at the number of tens and the number of ones in a number, but we're going to use it a lot this week to help us with putting numbers on number lines and ordering numbers and thinking about which numbers are larger and which ones are smaller. Okay, and today we're going to be thinking about putting numbers onto a number line, so missing numbers, thinking about where they might go and how do we know that they go there. What tells us, what helps us to know that those numbers go in that place on the number line. We've done a lot of work using a meter ruler where we put numbers on. So what we're going to do today is we're going to think about, if we have, a bit like the number lines you were using, the blank number lines you were using before the Easter break, where you were adding 11, adding 9 and taking 9, using a blank number line. Okay, now the number lines I'm going to be giving you are going to have some numbers on there. Okay, so for example, it may be a number line like this, and it may have it may look like that. Okay, so starting at 10, going up to 50, but with the multiples of 10 written in on the number line. Then what I'm going to be asking you to do is putting some other 2-digit numbers where you think they might go on the number line. Okay, so for example, if I gave you these 4 numbers and I said to you, where do you think these numbers would go on the number line? So look very carefully at the 2 numbers. Okay, so if we look at the first one here, we've got the number 24. Okay, so what you need to do is think carefully. Is it going to come between 10 and 20? Which numbers come between 10 and 20? We talked about this before. It's those teens number, isn't it? So if it's a teens number, it would come between 10 and 20. Okay, if we look at this one, it says 24. So that tells me, because it's a 20s number, it's going to come between 20 and 30. Okay, now if we think about it, look at 20 and then we look at the 4. Okay, 4 is very close to 5, and 5 would come halfway between the 2 multiples of 10. Okay, so we know here that we would have 25, and if you want to do that to help you, you can write those on. So you can put in the middle numbers, so you can write 25 so you can put the digits of 5 on to help you, and then you can see where the middle between the multiples of 10, where the middle numbers are. Okay, so if we've got 24, we can see that's very, very close to 25. Where does it come? Explain to your adult that's with you. Look at the number 24. Where's it going to go on the number line, and why? Why do you think it's going to go there? Talk to an adult about it. Explain to them. Remember, Mrs. Dumont always likes people explaining what they've been doing and why. I like to know why. Why did you do that? Why do you think it goes there? Okay, so I am hoping that most of you realise that 24 is 1 less than 25. So it's going to be very, very close to 25. So we know it's probably going to go about here on my number line. Okay, so we go right next to 25. So 24 is going to be here on my number line. Okay, let's look at the next one. We've got number 48. Okay, where do you think number 48 is going to go on the number line? I'm not going to say anything to start with. I want you to have a think. Talk to somebody about it. Doesn't matter who it is. It could be your brother, your sister, a pair adult who's with you. Talk to them about it. Where do you think that's going to go, and why? Why? Explain why. Okay, really important to explain. So we've got the number 48. Now if you look carefully, which 2 multiples of 10 is that going to come between? It's going to come between 40 and 50, because it's bigger, it's in the 40s, yeah, so it's bigger than 40, but it's smaller than 50. So we know it's going to come between 40 and 50. Okay, but whereabouts? Is it going to come before the 45 or after the 45? Look at how many ones it's got. How many ones has it got? It's got 8 ones. And how many ones has 45 got? 5 ones. So it's got more ones, which means it is a bigger number. And because it's a bigger number, it's going to come after 45, okay? And it's quite close to 50, okay? Because we've only got 49 and then we go to 50. Okay, so we know it's going to be quite close to 50. It's going to be about here. Okay, so we put 48 onto our number line. Okay, look at the next one. We've got number 17. Now, I said earlier, didn't I? Where do the teens numbers come? Where do the teens numbers always come? Always come between 10 and 20, don't they? Okay, so between 10 and 20. So look at the number carefully. We've put one in already, the halfway mark, the 15. Is 17 bigger or smaller than 15? Bigger or smaller? How do you know? How do you know whether it's bigger or smaller? Explain. We can tell by how many ones it's got. Okay, how many ones has 15 got? It's only got 5, whereas 17 has got 7. Okay, so this has got more ones, so it's going to be bigger. Okay, so that is going to come after the 15. It's going to be about here on my number line. Okay, and my last one, got 42. 42. Where's that going to come? Which two tens numbers is that going to come between? How do you know? Explain. Tell somebody how you know where it's going to go on the number line. Okay, if we look carefully, we know that it's going to come between 40 and 50. Because it is a 40s number, it's going to come after the 40 but before the 50. Okay, but whereabouts between the 40 and the 50? Whereabouts is it going to go? Have a think. Look at your middle number, the 45. Is it going to go after 45 or before 45? How do you know it's going to be in that place? Look at the ones. How many ones in 45? 5. How many ones in 42? 2. So it's less. That means it's smaller. Okay, so it's going to go before 45. It's going to come about here. Okay, so we have not completely accurately, because it's really tricky to be absolutely accurate, okay, but we have put those 4 numbers onto the number line in the right place, thinking about what we know about how many tens it's got, how many ones it's got. Okay, now what I'm going to do for you is attach to the PowerPoint that I have done for today. After you've watched this video, there will be some number lines, okay? Those number lines will have some numbers on, and there will be some challenges as well. So look very carefully and think about what you know about the number of tens and the number of ones in a number that can help you to put a number on a number line. Okay, if you have any questions or any worries, just do please let me know. Okay, and I will see you tomorrow for another maths lesson, and it will still be thinking about numbers of tens and numbers of ones, because we're going to be ordering numbers tomorrow. Okay, take care, year one. See you tomorrow. Bye.